Just like pretty much everything else in Word, we can customize our own multi-level list. So we're not restricted to choosing in the list of choices from really effectively the only three, which is the 1AI, 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 or the 1.1.1, etc., or the little pictures for bullets. If we want to create our own bullet list, and we can do this in the access manual _multiple list, where there is already a list in place. So we have a set of text that already has a multiple list applied to it, but we'd like to create our own. Then in the drop list for multiple lists, we can choose Define New Multi-Level List. This opens up the dialog box for Define New Multi-Level List. And it's here that you will see that you can actually go down to 9 levels. Now, given that each level slightly indents to make it easier to read on the page, by the time you get to level 9, you're going to be at least half, if not 3/4 of the way across the page. Not many people actually need that many levels, but certainly 3, possibly 4 are quite common. Now, in this Define New Multi-Level List, we decide what level to start with. So we'll start with level 1. And in the lower half, we then define what this should look like. So here we have enter formatting for the number. Now, we'll notice there's a little field there. That little field is controlled by the number style. Number styles are here. We can choose from 1, 2, 3, Roman numerals in uppercase, Roman numerals in lowercase, letters uppercase, letters lowercase, first, second, third, 1, 2, 3, first, second, third in words, 0, 1, 0, 2, 0, 3, 0, 1, 0, 0, 2, 0, 0, 3. So this controls the leading zeros, or a bullet shape, or even a new picture or a new bullet. Well, let's stay with the defined choices, and let's make our first level first, second, and third. So you can see here then in the preview, it shows first. Now it's grey because it's a field, so I don't want to change that. What I can control is that closed bracket at the end. If I don't want a closed bracket, I can put a full stop or a comma or anything really. Now, as we change what we're doing to this new list, you can see in the preview what happens. So my first level is going to be first, full stop. I can even control the font if I want. So I can change the typeface for just the text of the bullet, or the size, or the boldness, or the italic. So let's make it italic to be different. Okay, so we're going to get italic first, and therefore second, third, fourth as we move through. We can control the position. Number alignment is left, aligned at 0 inches, so it's going to be right to the left-hand margin, with the text indented by 1/4 of an inch. So the text here is indented 1/4 of an inch away from the bullet point. Now that's the basic default settings, but what you'll find if you click more is you suddenly get a lot more choices down the right hand side here. Apply changes to whole list, or just this point forward, or the current paragraph. Link level to a style, level to show in the gallery, list number field, list name, start at, so I don't need to start at 1, or in this case first. I can start second, third, fourth. I can choose to have legal style numbering. I can follow the number with, and there's a drop down for tab character, space, nothing, the default being tab character, and even add a tab stop. Most of those aren't going to apply to our multi-level list because we want it to apply to the whole list. So I'm going to say less and carry on with our style. So that's the first level style. Second level style currently is A, but it can be any choice here. I'm going to go with Roman numerals. Again, I don't want to change that grayed out field because that's the actual letter, or I's or IV, but I am going to delete the closed bracket and put a full stop in again. And go into the font and make these bold. So I've got first in italics, Roman numerals in bold. Now I can include the level number from level 1. If I do that, you'll see in the preview it shows I first. Actually, the first should be before that. So let's click into here and delete the first. Place our cursor before the I and then say include level 1. But there's no break between the first and the I, so we need to make sure we get our cursor in between. And I'm going to put a little space, hyphen, space. So you can see that's what my preview is going to look. Now, obviously, you're not going to make your own multi-level list look as crazy as this. I'm just overemphasizing the capabilities to show it in action. Here we have the number alignment again, left aligned, aligned this time 1/4 of an inch. So we find that the sub item is indented slightly. We can reduce that. come back to point 1, so it's not overly indented against the first level. We can choose how far again our text is indented. Let's perhaps not indent it so far this time. Come back to point 2. And then we can go to the third level, because I know our list contains 3 levels. At the third level, let's go with lowercase letter. And again, I'm going to delete the open bracket and put a colon and a space. But I also want to include previous levels, so let's move the cursor to the left-hand side again and include level 2 with close bracket and a space. So you can see in the preview that's going to show us Roman numeral space A for the first one, colon, and then the item. I could again change the font if I wanted and control the alignment. Notice how we're now indented ½ an inch, whereas the first one goes in point 2 if I recall. Let's have a look. Point 1. So let's push this backwards to point 3. And I could carry on to the 4th, the 5th, the 6th, the 7th, the 8th and the 9th level, totally customizing as I go. Because I know I'm setting this list up for my list I already have and I have nothing past that 3rd level, I'm going to leave the 4th level as the default, which reverts back to being a 1. So let's see how bad this looks. We say OK, and it gets applied to my list. So you can see that's not particularly presentable, but it does work. 1st, 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th, 10th, 11th. The next level indentation repeats the first level, so 8th, hyphen, and then Roman numeral. So I can see 3 of those there. And where I have a 3rd level, here we have 3rd I, 3rd II, and then the 3rd level is showing II, A, IIB, IIC. So I've totally customized that to my own liking. Now that customized bullet list appears in the drop list as ones that I've created. So here's the current list, and it also appears here, lists in the current document, so that I can reuse it again in this document. Luckily, it won't appear in any future documents. It's just for this document only. If I need to edit it, I simply go back to the bullets and come down to define new multi-level list. Any changes I make in here are made to the whole list, so I could change the first level to be a 1, 2, 3. OK. You see that then gets applied to my whole list, and in the drop list, that style has reverted. So it doesn't get retained as a style you want to save, it effectively gets changed over. If you do wish to save it, then you can simply right-click and save in your list library.